you got what you wanted. New York versus Philly. Let the war begin. We got a lot to talk about today, including the return of Bad Tiki on a Bad Tiki Thursday. He joins us at 4:30. The mayor of this fine city will join us later on in the show as well. The Yankees won a game yesterday that felt like a bigger win than your normal April win. And we've got a Met controversy we'll address later on. But last night, I think as we all sat in front of our TVs, different emotions filled your body if you're a New York Knicks fan. You had the emotion of, ugh, I can't root for anybody. Ugh, I hate these people. I hate that person. I hate everybody. And then when Jimmy Butler was clearly hurt, clearly compromised, I know what y'all were doing, and you're right for it. You were rooting for the Miami Heat.
Of course you were.
So that you could take on a wounded animal in Miami.
Yes, but that would be the easy way. The Knicks fan wants the hard way.
Do you?
Go through the jungle.
You really want the hard way?
No, of course not.
Is that what your preference is?
Of course not. You want to play a Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat team.
Because here's the reality of the hard way that we now have. New York versus Philadelphia. And we'll talk about this as the days go on, today and tomorrow, about how rare this really is. Because New York versus Philly seems like such a natural rivalry. But the truth is, we don't get New York versus Philly a lot in the postseason. This is the first time we're getting Knicks Sixers since 1989. We haven't seen a lot of Ranger Flyers series over the years. We haven't seen a lot of Islander Flyers series over the years. The Mets and the Phillies have never played in the postseason. But the truth is, and you saw it last night and you're hearing it today, is there is a misconception from the way New Yorkers feel about this series and the way the country feels about this series. New Yorkers are cocky. New Yorkers are confident. New Yorkers look at Joel Embiid, who played like crap for about 3.5 quarters before he picked up his game in the fourth quarter, and they see a wounded big man. They see a Sixers team that's beatable because, let's be honest, they played like crap last night. We're lucky to win. The Knicks fan is confident. The Knicks fan is cocky.
Shouldn't they be?
To certain degrees, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what you're getting at.
Well, here's what I'm getting at.
You're making it seem like they shouldn't be.
The nation and the gambling universe says the Knicks are underdogs.
Yes, because they're
That's
morons.
a big misconception. There's a big juxtaposition here.
Yes, because they're moronic.
Everybody's a moron except for New Yorkers?
Vegas is all moronic. You know why? Because they don't actually watch the Knicks. They don't actually watch what's going on in New York. They don't know that Tom Thibodeau has changed. They're still believing that Tom Thibodeau is this closed-minded, going to play 6 to 7 guys a night in the postseason and get trounced by the better team on paper because Joel Embiid was the MVP a year ago, missed 40 games this year, and can't play defense to save his life yesterday, at least for 3 quarters, as you mentioned. So I think the national basketball watching audience and those that are wagering, because that's what you're basing this off of, those that are wagering don't actually realize what's happening in New York with the Knicks.
You think it's disrespect to the Knicks, or do you think you as Knicks fans are disrespecting the Sixers?
No. I think
because that could be a part of this too here.
Yeah, possibly, but I think mostly it's ignorance about where the Knicks have grown to, what they are. I mean, they're different at this point in the season than they were 3 months ago. Right. I mean, obviously the roster's different because guys were hurt and injured and traded and everything else, but this team it's just different. I don't think there's a fear and hope factor from the fans, certainly, but I don't even think from the player. Like, the player is not in their mind saying, oh, we got a tough hill to climb. The player is saying, hey, dude, we got this. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Now, obviously, as you mentioned starting the show, would you like to play the Heat without Jimmy Butler? Of course. Right. But I think the Knicks fan and the Knicks player, they're not even worried about it. Well, they really aren't. I think they're that confident in themselves.
I think you're right about one thing and wrong about another thing. Number one, I do think nationally, and I've said this before, the Knicks get disrespected for no reason. The Knicks have accomplished a lot this season.
Yeah, the LOL Knicks.
The LOL Knicks trend continues. Like, the Knicks had an incredible regular season, especially when you look at the circumstances in front of them. They changed the kind of the guts of the roster in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And OG Anunoby has only played those 23 regular season games when he could have and should have played more. But RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, they were key parts of this team. And in the middle of the year, you change that. Then you've got a significant injury to a player who is playing like a superstar in Julius Randle. And the Knicks have overcome that. And you mentioned some of the adjustments Tom Thibodeau has made. And the best he's gotten out of veteran players who've had their best years this year with the New York Knicks, like Hart, like Josh Hart, like Dante DiVincenzo. So I agree with you that the Knicks, in a way, have been disrespected. Of course. You're right. But here's the other part. I think you guys, New Yorkers, you Tiki Barber, you, Tommy Lugauer, you, many of the voices listening right now, those on social media, those calling the radio station, I think you're disrespecting the Philadelphia 76ers. I think you look at them because you watched them last night, and they played like crap last night. Mm-hmm. When they were down 13 and the boos were raining down, yeah, I think we're all like, what the hell is going on?
They responded. You got to give them credit.
But they not only responded. Think about this about Philadelphia. Besides the fact they've got a pretty big winning streak coming into the postseason, they won an essential playoff game last night with their two best players doing nothing for 90% of the game. They needed Nicholas Batum to save their asses. And so the assumption I'm going to make is that Tyrese Maxey, I'll start with him before I even get to Embiid, Tyrese Maxey is going to play better. He's going to play better. He's had a breakout year, too. When you talk about most improved, how about the year Tyrese Maxey's had? The second thing with Joel Embiid is this. The biggest thing that probably gives you hope or confidence is that he's going to grab his knee 5 minutes into the first quarter of game one, and we're never going to see his ass again. No. And by the way, if that's the case, you'll beat him. I agree with you. If Joel Embiid breaks down in front of our eyes, and right now, what is he? They say Stephen A. Smith, I think, said on the pre, he's at 70%. Look, 70% of Joel Embiid is still pretty damn good. But if he's off the court and not available, yeah, I think the Knicks will smoke him. But as long as the reigning and defending MVP is on the floor, as long as Tyrese Maxey doesn't turn into a pumpkin, the Philadelphia 76ers are not easy to beat. So as much as the Knicks are being disrespected, I think Knicks fans are disrespecting who they're playing in the first round. As much as they've choked in the playoffs, guys, their chokes come in the second round, not the first round.
Look, it would be easy to say, the Philadelphia 76ers aren't good enough to beat the Knicks. It'd be easy because of how hard the Knicks play and how seasoned that they've become in a very short time in this current iteration of this Knicks team. But at this, I don't think that's how this. I don't think that's the construction of these Knicks. Right? When I think about Jalen Brunson or Josh Hart or Hartenstein or whoever, I don't think any of these guys have that. I know they're confident, but it doesn't feel like they're cocky to the point where they're dismissing their opponent.
No, I don't think the Knicks are. I think their fans are.
Like, there are certain athletes, you know them. We all seen them. Like, they think they're better than they actually are, and it ends up coming back and biting them in the ass. This Knicks team doesn't feel like that. Like, they play hard, they respect their opponent, but they also aren't trying to. I don't know. They're not trying to big boy them. Like, we're better than you because we're going to play together. We're going to move the ball. We're going to shoot threes. We're going to rebound. We're going to do all the hard things that most stars in the NBA don't want to do on a regular basis.
I understand.
This doesn't feel like a we hold disrespect over our opponent. We respect our opponent. We just know we're going to play harder than you.
I don't think
even if we're not better than you.
I don't think Knicks players are disrespectful. I think some of their fans are.
No.
Look, I think last night you saw Kelly Oubre suck. You saw Kyle Lowry suck. You saw Buddy Hield basically have the yips last night. I'm going to assume that those three key role players are all not going to struggle as much as they struggled last night. I think the Sixers are the better team than what we saw last night.
But why did they struggle? Why?
Because Eric Spoelstra knows how to coach. Exactly. They couldn't figure out the zone in the first half.
Right, and exactly. And
I give Spola. And then guess what? Nick Nurse made adjustments.
He did.
Like, here's one big difference between Philly of the past, the choking Philadelphia 76ers, and the current Philadelphia 76ers. Who the head coach is? I mean, Doc Rivers has been a choke artist over the last decade. Nick Nurse has a pretty ring on his finger. I think this is a brutal first-round series. Am I telling you, Knicks fans, you're going to lose, you're going to get smoked? I'm not giving you that fake trash talk. I think this is a war. I think this is a 7-game series. I think this is you're going to get your money's worth. This is a battle. Look, if Joel Embiid limps off in the middle of game one, I'll be wrong. Then you'll smoke them. But right now, I'm going to play under the assumption that the Joel Embiid we saw in the fourth quarter last night is the big SOB you have to deal with. And here's the other problem. This makes me sick. This series makes me physically ill.
Why?
Because last night, I'm sitting there, and I'm watching Philadelphia embarrass themselves. I'm watching this city booing Tobias Harris, which, by the way, I joined in. How much does he stink? If Nick Nurse has a half a brain, we don't see Tobias Harris big minutes down the stretch. And I'm sorry, Tobias, I know you're a Long Island kid. I'm seeing Sixer fans celebrating dumb things like they're getting free chicken. I'm seeing the worst of Philadelphia. I'm seeing Joel Embiid's face. You know I can't stand him. And then I realized, oh, my God, I'm going to have to root for these bastards in a couple.
Whose side is he on?
No, I mean, I know what side I'm
Why
on,
would
but
you even want that?
I don't want that.
Why would you even want to root for the opposing team, even if it is rooted in hate for the Knicks, the coalition of Knick haters that you head, even though you claim not to be the head of it, right? This is good for the city. This is good.
It's good for the city to have New York against Philadelphia.
It's good for our show, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's good to have a run. What's wrong with you, man?
What's wrong with me?
What are you gonna do? What do you want to talk about? The Yankees and the Mets so much that you want the Knicks to be eliminated?
No. It has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with my job. Like I don't. As a sports fan, and maybe this is a good thing, I'm not jaded by my job that causes me to root for things for it. I've never been that way.
Yeah.
Like I look at things as a sports fan, and maybe that's my biggest flaw. I don't know. As a sports fan, I can't stand Philadelphia. Like all of us as human beings.
So why would you even consider rooting for them?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, but they're not really your enemy.
No, you're my enemy.
Not really.
But everything about...
You got to be competitive to be the enemy of the team in second place in the division.
All right, so now you're talking trash to me now.
I'm not. I'm just stating a fact.
Look.
Is that trash or is that a fact?
There are two kinds of rivalries.
That was an Evan tinge of trash with fact.
Of course it is. There's two kinds of rivalries in this town. There's hating Big Brother, Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Islanders, Rangers, Knicks, Nets. And then there's that other city that you can't stand. Look, I unite with my fellow New Yorkers in saying, I can't stand Philadelphia. I think it is a disgusting, disgusting city. I think their fans last night were embarrassing. Like Knicks fans, watch that. I'm going to put you over a little bit before we talk trash about this series. Last night, in the midst of a play-in game, I think it's a playoff game. It's got the atmosphere of a playoff game. Yep. There's so much on the line. You want to win. In the midst of a play-in game, if you guys didn't see this, I saw something last night that would never happen in New York City, would never happen at Madison Square Garden. Maybe it happens at Barclays Center. I'm not sure. They run a gimmick in Philadelphia that if the opposing free throw shooter misses 2 free throws, you get free chicken.
Sounds familiar.
Similar to the L.A. Clipper thing. We talked about it the other day with Bobby. So I forget who was at the line from Miami, but someone was at the line for the Miami Heat. It may have been Highsmith. For some reason, I think it was Highsmith.
He's Caleb Martin.
Oh, it's Caleb Martin? All right. There you go. Thank you very much. I love how you figured that one out. So Caleb, that's right, because he missed both free throws. So Caleb Martin goes to the line. This is a play-in game. Misses the first free throw. All of a sudden, the dopes in Philadelphia start getting so excited about free chicken that they're standing up, they're hooting and they're hollering. Mike Breen even called attention to it.
Well, maybe they were just hoping he would miss.
Tiki.
They're also playing the promotion in the arena, getting the fans to get excited about it. We would do that at MSG.
No, we would not.
What's wrong with that?
No, we would not. We would never in a Knick playoff game. How dare you insult Knick fans like that? How dare you? The Knick fan would never celebrate a missed free throw to get free chicken in the middle of a playoff game.
It wasn't to celebrate to get chicken. It was to celebrate because he missed 2.
That's BS and you know it.
It's not BS.
That's BS
it's like
and you know it.
It's a side, I don't know, effect. Like it comes with it.
You think the Sixer fan last night, those scoundrels in Philadelphia.
In a tight game? Yes.
Oh, stop it.
No, that's the way to get the crowd excited to psych out the free throw shooter. By the way, Yankee game, Met game, playoff game, if it was about strike, we all get up if it starts blank and you get free chicken.
Sean,
we love free chicken.
I got a problem with you and I got a problem with Tiki. Because I'll tell you why. For as much crap as I'm going to get for the Knicks 2 weeks, oh, he hates the Knicks, oh, he's rooting against the Knicks, you're right. I don't like the Knicks, but I love my city. Mm-hmm. I love my damn city.
Okay, so whose side is he on? What does it have to do with
Stop pretending because you're pretending that New Yorkers, us, Tommy Lugauer, Evan Roberts, Greg Giannotti, Chris McMonigal,
don't forget Brandon
McPherson, Brandon Tierney, Pete Hoffman,
Sal Licata.
Boomer, forget about it. I don't know. He's not real.
He doesn't eat free food.
You think that they would cheer and go crazy for free chicken?
They would cheer for missing 2 free throws.
But that's not why they were cheering last night.
But how do you know?
Because they were excited about the chicken.
We have people at the station who cheer for the team they don't even like for free swag at a team store. Of course you're cheering for free chicken.
BS. That's Philly.
It's also a reason to cheer. Let's put it that way.
Also a reason. If it's a regular season game, fine. You want free chicken, you're hungry, you're obese. We as Americans, we're big fat asses.
I wouldn't even eat the chicken. I just want the guy to miss.
So you would be cheering?
Of course, just so he'd miss.
So let me ask you a question.
Get the chicken and give it to somebody.
Let me ask you a question.
You want my chicken? It's free.
Hypothetically, if you are in...
So I can't vouch for what it tastes like.
If you're in Philadelphia for one of these playoff games, spoiler alert, we will be, and all of a sudden, Dante DiVincenzo misses a free throw.
Mm-hmm.
And they remind you, hey, if Dante misses a second, everyone gets free chicken.
He's not missing two.
Okay. Mitchell Robinson!
Oh, boy.
Maybe.
Are you going to be cheering because you want to taste the free chicken?
No. Why would I cheer for my guy to miss?
Because you want the free chicken. You're
I don't want
defending
the free
Sixer
chicken.
fans.
I'm not defending Sixer fans.
Let me tell you right now.
I think Sixer fans wanted Caleb Martin to miss the free throw.
Stop it.
And so by getting loud and, I don't know, thinking chicken, he missed.
There are moments.
He had 2 free throw opportunities.
Stop.
You had 2 things to do.
Two
things to do, Caleb Martin, and you screwed it up.
There are moments in which I reflect on life decisions. And I say, is this a good decision? Is this a bad decision? And I admit, I'm a flawed human being. I make a lot of bad decisions. Last night, when I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm watching Sixers Heat, and I'm clearly rooting for Philadelphia because I don't like the Knicks and I want the Sixers to beat them. Okay, that's my own prerogative. When I heard those dopes, those stupid dopes that live in a city called Philadelphia going so nuts over free chicken, I was saying to myself, am I really going to do this? Am I really going to sit here for 2 weeks and root for that? For those people? And it was very reflective. I couldn't sleep last night. I turned like 15 times. I'm like, I hate that. But the chicken, those idiots. I could not get over that in the middle of a play-in or playoff game that, by the way, Nicholas Batum needed to save their ass in. And Jimmy Butler was, walking wounded in the last 2 minutes. That they needed to cheer for free chicken? We are not those people, so Sean, apologize.
I will not. We are those people. We love chicken.
You're on my side, at least for now. Can you remind everybody that New Yorkers would never do that?
New Yorkers would never stoop that low. No, not in a spot like that. Not for free food. Come on.
Free food.
For the miss, sure, but they were extra loud because they were getting free stuff out of that. We're real sports fans up here, though. They're more like fugazi.
That's right.
They want to be entertained in Philly. If the team stinks, they don't show up, stuff like that. We're here for wins, for W's, not for, chicken tenders.
I have a big surprise for Knicks fan Tommy Lugar. We'll reveal in a couple of minutes, and we'll get to your calls. The New York Knicks are underdogs as a 2-seed against the 7-seeded Philadelphia 76ers. Are you pissed off that America's disrespecting them, or are you cocky and confident that this is going to be a fun, easy week and a half with New York getting revenge on Philadelphia? We'll get your calls, 877-337-6666.